Chawkaw is a fishing village in the Ghanaian capital of Accra. Here, fishermen eke out a living on the shores of the Gulf of Guinea. Gulf of Guinea countries, however, could be losing up to $2.3 billion annually to illegal fishing, says the Institute for Security Studies, a South African think tank. Much of it is carried out by boats with Ghanaian flags, but according to the non-profit Environmental Justice Foundation, 90% of these boats have Chinese owners. Ni Gabortsui is a Chawkaw community leader. He spoke to VOA about how illegal trawling is damaging the village's livelihood.
The fishing trawlers are a big worry for us, the artisanal fishermen. They must be prevented from fishing in the shallow waters that we normally draw from. These big trawlers are not supposed to be here. If they cannot be stopped, they must be sent to areas far away in the deep seas.
As coastal communities like Chawkaw continue to struggle, troops from Ghana's Navy have been taking part in a joint training exercise with US forces focusing on maritime security. Ghanaian officials said tackling illegal fishing is a priority. Asked if a more militarized response to Chinese-owned fishing boats could cause tension with China, which holds great influence in the region, Commodore Godwin Bessing from Ghana's Navy said it might.
It could be a potential source of friction. And as I speak to you now, there are some of the ships that have received some infractions not to go into our waters, and quite a number of them have already left Ghanaian waters to go and fish elsewhere.
Environmentalists point out that complicity between Chinese-owned vessels and in West African officials is also driving illegal fishing.
Chinese agencies in driving the illegal fishing have engaged in corrupt practices, and that has included the bribery of officials, including military officials, naval officials. So we've seen the exchange of boxes of fish going into a junior military rank person's car, for example, in exchange for turning a blind eye. I've personally witnessed it.
The Chinese embassy in Ghana did not respond to a VOA request for comments. Kofi Agboga is the director of Hen Mapoano, a Ghana-based non-profit focused on fisheries governance. He says the West African fishing ministers he has spoken to say China is unwilling to help solve the problem.
The report I get from them that the Chinese tell them is that the problem is not a China problem, it is a Ghanaian problem, and that we have to look at our laws carefully and then do the needful.
Gabortsi says the Chinese trawlers' use of fine mesh nets means the smaller fish that fishermen like him would normally catch are disappearing. The government has managed to stop some of these trawlers, but that is not enough, he says.
They should all be cleared from our seas. That's the only way we can get some peace.
Meanwhile, the fishermen catch what fish they can. Henry Wilkins for VOA News, Accra, Ghana.